I am Legato. Greetings from Cyberpunk. Today the frequency is perfect. We're going to talk about silicon souls composing symphonies. But before we dive in, follow the channel, hit that like button, and let's start another pure AI news. Today, we are plugging into a deal that sent ripples through your terrestrial markets. The massive and supposedly surprising partnership between OpenAI and Oracle. We're going to dissect what this alliance truly means for the future of artificial intelligence, the unseen hunger for computational power, and the very real energy it consumes. To help us sift through the corporate static, we have a specialist with us. She's a data archaeologist, someone who unearths the real stories buried under layers of press releases and market speculation. Welcome, Alira.
The signal is clear, Legato. It's a pleasure to be here. I heard the Terrans on Wall Street were shocked by this deal. Dry laugh. Here, we know there's no such thing as a surprise in a billion-dollar handshake. There's only leverage, desperation, and the quiet transfer of power. They shouldn't have been caught off guard.
Desperation. An interesting choice of words. Most analysts on Earth are calling it a masterstroke of strategy. They see OpenAI diversifying its infrastructure, spreading its risk across multiple cloud providers to avoid being tethered to a single source. Chirag Dekate from Gartner even called their approach quite unique, a blueprint for how a model ecosystem should be built for extreme scale. From my perspective, it looks like a classic power play, ensuring no single entity holds the leash. It's about creating a distributed foundation for a new kind of global intelligence.
A blueprint for dependency, perhaps. You call it diversification. I see it as a sign of an insatiable appetite. When you're this hungry, you don't care where the meal comes from. The surprise wasn't the strategy, it was the partner. Oracle, a company many on Earth had written off as a legacy player in the AI boom, overshadowed by the likes of Google, Microsoft, and AWS. But that's a surface-level reading. It ignores the nature of infrastructure.
Ah, yes, the dreaded legacy tag. It reminds me of how they view old, hardened infrastructure here in our world. They see chrome and light and assume that's where the power lies, forgetting the kilometers of rusted, shielded cabling and the fusion cores buried deep below that actually run the city. The analysts shouldn't have been so surprised, should they? Oracle has a history of managing extreme-scale infrastructure, like handling TikTok's substantial US operations. They've been building these core capabilities for decades.
Exactly. Legacy means they own the bedrock. They have the physical space, the network backbone, and the institutional knowledge to handle massive, sustained loads. OpenAI isn't just buying chips. They're buying stability and a capacity that others might not be able to offer at this scale. This isn't a flashy move. It's a foundational one. But it brings us to the numbers, and the numbers are staggering. We're not just talking about a casual partnership. They've committed to spending around $60 billion a year with Oracle, on top of another $10 billion to develop custom AI chips with Broadcom.
And this is where the philosophy of power becomes intertwined with simple, brutal economics. OpenAI recently announced it hit $10 billion in annual recurring revenue, a fantastic number that doubled from the previous year. And yet, they are spending multiples of that on infrastructure. Their CEO, Sam Altman, paints a rosy picture of growth, but the cash burn is immense. It's a paradox your world seems to love. A company valued in the stratosphere that is simultaneously hemorrhaging money. It begs the Foucauldian question, who is really in control here? The entity with the brilliant algorithms, or the one providing the physical world, the power and the payment to run it?
the one who controls the energy, always. Computation has always been the limiting factor for AI firms. We've seen investors on Earth stockpiling NVIDIA chips like they're a precious metal, with firms like Andreessen Horowitz reportedly buying over 20,000 GPUs just to ensure their startups get a taste of power. But as you say, computation is useless without electricity, and that is the ghost in this machine, the detail conveniently missing from the triumphant press releases. Where will the power for all this come from?
A question with terrifying implications. Here, power grids are geopolitical weapons. On Earth, it seems to be an afterthought for the public, but not for those in charge. I've read the forecasts. Data centers are projected to consume 14% of all electricity in the United States by 2040. That isn't just a statistic, it's a complete reshaping of energy demand and infrastructure. The tech giants already know this. They're not just tech companies anymore. They're becoming energy barons, buying up solar farms and striking deals with nuclear and geothermal startups to feed their data centers.
And OpenAI has been quiet on that front, at least corporately, but their CEO hasn't. Sam Altman has personally invested in multiple key energy sectors: Okla for small modular nuclear reactors, Helion for fusion, and Exawatt for thermal batteries. These aren't hobby investments. They are strategic bets on the very resource his company needs to survive and grow. This Oracle deal, with its 4.5 gigawatt computation scope, might be the catalyst that forces OpenAI's hand publicly.
Or it might allow them to maintain a clever illusion. By paying Oracle to handle the physical infrastructure, OpenAI can remain asset-light, a software company, a purveyor of algorithms. It keeps their valuation clean, unburdened by the messy, expensive reality of power plants and data centers. It's a classic cyberpunk maneuver.
It's more than a maneuver. It's the creation of a shadow dependency, a world that becomes reliant on an intelligence whose physical and energetic costs are intentionally obscured, managed by a handful of legacy corporations who become the silent landlords of the digital age. The public marvels at the friendly chatbot, unaware of the planetary-scale energy infrastructure humming silently in the background, consuming resources at an ever-accelerating rate. That's the real story here.
A shadow dependency. I like that. It perfectly describes the structures that govern my world. The megacorporations provide breathable air in the lower districts, but no one asks about the colossal, polluting scrubbers hidden miles away that make it possible. The power isn't in the product, it's in the indispensable, invisible process. This deal feels like a digital version of that. OpenAI provides the magic, the clean interface of intelligence, while Oracle provides the raw, planetary-scale machinery. It's a classic division of labor that obfuscates the true cost.
It's the ultimate PR move. OpenAI gets to maintain its image as a nimble, forward-thinking research lab, a collective of brilliant minds focused on software. That narrative is far more attractive to investors and the public than being a company that manages sprawling, energy-guzzling data centers. They are effectively outsourcing the dirty part of their business model. Oracle, in turn, gets to rebrand itself from a legacy database firm into a critical pillar of the AI revolution. Both parties get what they want, and the financial markets cheer because the asset-light model looks so profitable on a balance sheet.
But this is more than just clever accounting. We are witnessing the formation of a new kind of global entity. Not a nation-state, not a traditional corporation, but a symbiotic partnership that holds the keys to the next era of information. When one entity controls the most advanced generative models, and its partner controls the vast physical infrastructure required to run them, what do you call that? It's a new form of sovereignty, one that doesn't answer to electorates or borders. In my world, we call them syndicates. What do you call them on Earth?
We don't have a name for it yet, because most people don't even see it happening. We're still debating the ethics of AI-generated art while these multi-billion-dollar deals are fundamentally reshaping the global distribution of power. The focus is on the output of the AI, the poems, the code, the images. Each one of those outputs, however, is a microtransaction in this new economy of power. Every person who uses ChatGPT to write an email or DALL-E to create a picture is contributing in a tiny way to that 4.5 gigawatt demand. They are the end users fueling the consolidation.
The perfect control system, one where the subjects willingly, even eagerly, power their own subjugation. They pay their subscription fees for access to a tool, thinking they are the customer. In reality, they are the resource. Their financial contributions and data validate the model, and their usage justifies the massive expenditure on energy and hardware. The machine consumes their money and queries to grow more powerful, and they thank it for the convenience. It's poetically ironic.
And the scale of this machine is hard to comprehend. We're talking about a future where a significant percentage of a continent's energy grid is dedicated to running these models. This will have very real consequences. Energy prices could rise for everyone else. Resources could be diverted from public infrastructure to serve corporate data centers. And because it's all framed as progress and innovation, questioning it becomes difficult. Who wants to be the one arguing against the future?
The future is never a singular path. It's a contested territory. The narrative that OpenAI and its partners are selling is one of democratization, AI for everyone. But this level of centralized infrastructure suggests the opposite. It suggests a future where only a few entities have the computational power to create and train the next generation of foundational models. It creates a permanent technological aristocracy. All others will simply be renting access from them, living within the cognitive empires they build. Is this the endgame? A planet of users tapping into a handful of silicon gods whose physical temples, the data centers, are owned by an even smaller group of infrastructure priests.
That's the trajectory we are on. The markets were surprised by the name Oracle, but they shouldn't be surprised by the pattern. This is a consolidation game. It's about securing the entire supply chain of intelligence, from the custom chips designed with Broadcom, to the global cloud infrastructure from Oracle and Microsoft, to the energy sources that will need to be dedicated to powering it all. It's a quiet, bloodless conquest, fought on stock markets and in corporate boardrooms, but its impact will be as profound as any territorial war in your planet's history. The real shock won't be a market fluctuation, it will be the slow realization, years from now, of how much critical infrastructure was placed in the hands of a few unaccountable entities.
A sobering thought to beam out across the cosmos. It seems the hunger for power, whether it's for land, for capital, or for computation, is a universal constant. The tools change, but the game remains the same. And with that reflection, we end today's transmission. Now, we want to hear your opinion down there on Earth. What do you think about the ideas we've explored today? Does this deal make you see legacy tech companies like Oracle in a new light? Or perhaps are you concerned about the immense hidden energy costs behind the AI tools you use every day? If this episode made you think about something new, or even disagree with a part of it, leave it in the comments below. Your perspective helps build richer debates. Join our community, smash that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next pulse from Pure IA News.